The cicadas are out, y'all, which means it's hot out. But it also means that it's tomato time. And we're finally getting some tomatoes and I'm so excited. These are the lemon blush here. Aren't they pretty? I'm gonna be making some salsa with them. We've still been getting tons of rain. I'd like some drier weather right now, especially since I'm gonna be harvesting some tomatoes. That way they have better flavor. But what is. This is what we got. We gotta harvest these guys. I like to try to harvest them when they start to first blush, but some of these are past that. I went ahead and collected all the dirt I needed for my new cattle panels that I have up. These are all my loofah plants. Isn't the leaf real pretty? It's almost a little bit variegated. And y'all, these turkeys have let this thing go crazy wild. Look at this. It's kind of fun. This pokeweed has gone wild. Some of it came down, it got too heavy for itself. Some people out in the south here, they like to make poke salad out of these leaves. I've never tried it myself, but this one's getting big, and look at this. Some of the good guys on here. One of my spined stink bugs. This row's done decent. Now I have just been cutting off the early blight and the late blight and the septoria leaf spot, and that's been going well. And some are doing great, and I'm seeing a lot of new growth at the bottom, and others are not. And I decided it's been taking me quite a bit of time out of my day to come through and kind of do a little snippety snip on these guys. At this point, I know which plants I'm going to be saving seeds from, and I'm going to focus my energy on them. Let me show you some of the ones that have not been doing well and what they're looking like. So this guy here, generally early blight is in your soil, but it can also come on the wind and then bugs can transfer it. So you're not going to always find early blight on the bottom section of your plant. I've found it before at the top as well. But generally it will be at the bottom. So some of the plants that I've been having out here have been putting out new growth, and I found that if I trim off the sick parts, the bottom section of the plant is able to grow healthy new growth, and it's not getting sick. Now that's not always the case. Some of these are just getting sick no matter what. But so in this situation, you see I cut quite a bit off at the bottom. Any new growth that's coming up is still getting sick, and you see this is what early blight does, is it attacks the foliage. It's not going to attack the fruit, but it will kill the plant. I think this plant will have enough time to mature these fruits, but after that, it's not going to make it. I don't think it's going to make it till August. But you see how the leaf here, we've got the bullseye, and it eventually spreads and it turns the whole leaf yellow, as you see here. Now this plant also has some septoria leaf spot going on as well. Let me show you. Septoria leaf spot is more spotty. It doesn't have that bullseye that slowly grows. Got some armyworms here. It's been interesting how these bugs have really come in waves. I had the lady squash beetles, and then those Anassa tristis really tried hard, but we beat them. And I've been having a bit of a wave of the armyworms and the horned worms come through. But we're not gonna let them. This is my garden. So up here at the top, this one is also dealing with some bacterial wilt. So this is one plant that I will not be saving seeds from, for good reasons. One of the reasons people will tell you to rotate your crop is to avoid that early blight. The problem with early blight is scientists are not really sure how long it will live in the soil. Some people say 4 years or more. That's a long time. And I don't know about you, but I grow so many nightshades that rotating is just not really practical for me. Eventually, there will be another nightshade in this spot. So I think the best method is to just get plants that are resistant to that early blight, or to develop your own, which is what I'm working on. Now this plant here is a hybrid. I think it's called a honeycrisp. Honeycomb? Maybe it's honeycomb. Either way, it is next to all of these other plants that have been getting really sick. But you know what? This one's been doing pretty darn good. It's gotten a little bit of blight here and there. See, I see a little bit right here. I will just remove that and get rid of it. This is a type of cherry tomato, and they're delicious. They're not quite ready yet, and I think I will try saving some seeds from it. But since this is a hybrid, the seeds that I collect won't be true to this plant. It will have characteristics of its mother and father plant, and we'll see what we get. I see a hornworm. Ooh! He's wiggly. We'll give him to Willow. Come here, Willow. When I get these worms, I always throw them to her. You ready? Here. No, son. Stay away. It's been so humid. I like the clouds coming in here. It feels a lot better. I wanted to get up earlier, but today's the 4th of July, which is our Independence Day here in the United States. It's a Tuesday, and Nathan's been off since Saturday. So we've been having some nice, relaxing mornings. In fact, I made a delicious tomato breakfast sandwich. Here you go. These tomatoes are coming in. It's funny because just a week ago, I was like, are these things ever gonna start getting ripe? Because it feels like the tomatoes are green for so long, and then all of a sudden they start to blush, and before you know it, they're drowning in tomatoes and feeling overwhelmed because I have to process them all. These little paste tomatoes turn quick. This Tahitian melon is really growing. I'm just gonna kind of let it grow up within here. You see here, you see this part? This is my Long Island cheese. I decided I'm just gonna kind of let it grow up here. Since some of these tomatoes haven't done as well back here, I'll just harvest what they have produced, and I will let this Long Island cheese kind of take over this section here. That way, I still have some green going on here throughout the season. Uh-oh. Is that what I think it is? Nope. Those are Nasa tristis. I don't like those ones. They're trying to mate. I can't let that happen. Not allowed. Gotta break that up. I will say, I said that these don't stink when you squish them. No, they do. They do. Look over here too. So many already. This thing is so prolific. I love it. I'm wondering if that... I saw this hole here in this Long Island cheese. I hope the pickle worms aren't out early this year. Let me see if I see any evidence. They'll generally be on the flower. Yeah, see this? There's just these little holes and just a little bit of that possibly frass coming out, which is their droppings. I'm gonna have to come out here and investigate a little bit more. Nope. Is that what I think it is? Yeah, that's pickle worms. Oh my gosh, they're out early this year. I took a picture of it with my zoom camera because it takes better zoom pictures than it does video. If you see the crystallized orange stuff that's going on there, that's the frass that's coming out. That's their droppings. So I just removed that little section. Darn, y'all. I'm gonna have to come out here and check everything very thoroughly because they must have already gotten to this one here. So if you're south of me, I'm in North Georgia, y'all should definitely get out to your gardens. If you're an organic gardener, get out to your garden, look out for those pickle worms. If you're north of me, they might already be there too, so definitely a lot earlier than it was last year. The pickle worms will generally be on the flower or any active part of the plant that's growing. Actually, you know what? Let me go this way. So these guys, the black cherry, they've been getting blight. They've been getting the late blight, but I've been trimming it off and they're looking great. And this is all of my pink eyes growing down below here. See, they're starting to climb up. I still have some late blight here and there on these guys, but I've just been kind of picking it off as I see it. Like this little section here. Kind of greasy looking, dark gray. But I love these black cherries. They're delicious. Oh. I think there was a dragonfly on my hat. There have been so many dragonflies in my garden, which is good. They're the good guys. They'll eat the bugs for you. This Jarndale's getting big. Oh, I see one of those cucumber beetles. I planted this one for fun. I know it won't be that prolific, but I just love the green color. It's a fun one to add to the porch in the fall. In fact, my spaghetti squash up here has been doing very good, and I think I counted there's a total of 10 that it produced. And they're starting to yellow up now. There's some of the bottom leaves are starting to get sick. I think I'm gonna just trim them off, and I went ahead and started 18 more of them. It's done so well, and I still have so much time left in the season, and I'm gonna go ahead and just plant them out. I noticed they're starting to pop up already. I'll show you in just a second. These two black cherries are some of the ones that have not done well. The whole bottom section of the plant I had to trim off, and it's still just getting sick up top. So I'll let these guys go until I get all the tomatoes off of them, and then I'll probably put something else here. Look. I'm excited about these. I'll put these guys out when they're ready, and I'll get more spaghetti squash because we go through a lot of spaghetti squash, and they store well, being a winter squash and all. These tomatoes here, I put them out later. They were some of my backup tomatoes that eventually I just went ahead and planted out. But they've been doing good because I was able to really stay on top of the blight, and I've just allowed them to grow as much as they want. At the beginning of the season, I thought that I would do some pruning, and I did start doing that on some tomatoes, but then I decided since I am pruning them here and there with the blight, I'm not going to bother. I'm just going to let them go, and as I need, I'll trim off any sick parts, and that seems to be working best. If you see, these guys are putting out lots of healthy growth. Cute little mushroom basket. They're not as big as they were last year. These are the ones that were open pollinated in my garden. They came out a little bit smaller, but I still love the shape. This one over here is getting quite big. I think it's an open pollinated Kellogg's breakfast. Here we go. This plant has done great. I'm going to save a seed from that big boy there because I've always enjoyed Kellogg's breakfasts, but they've never done that great for me. They get really sick. They don't produce very many, but I've still been doing them anyway because I like the flavor. But this one, since it's already had a season in my garden before, has been doing great. It's still gotten a little bit of sickness at the bottom, but it's still going. And it's producing a lot of tomatoes. still putting out more at the top, so that's great. Definitely saving seeds from that one. This basket is getting heavy. I'm just about done here. See all my corn here. We've been getting a lot of rain, and some of the rain took it down. It's done this before, and it's kind of fixed itself, and it brought itself back up again. I don't know how it did that. But if not, I'll come out here and kind of pick them up and put a little soil around them to get them to perk up again. Oh my goodness, look at all these gourds. Oh my gosh, there's so many. I have been having some issues with some white flies on my corn. If you see this damage here, white flies will suck the sap out of your plants. Now, I wanted marigolds to be out here so that they could produce that lemonade to keep these white flies off my corn. But I forgot to save marigold seeds from the ones that I collected in my garden last year for this section. I had used them all up in the garden already. I went ahead and ordered some online, put them out here. Not one of them popped up. I was very disappointed. So at this point, they're getting so large, I don't know if the marigolds would have enough time to get big before they get drowned out. Oh well, we'll just kind of have to do the best we can. But I think we got a good basket of tomatoes. Ooh, and it's heavy. I will come out here later and check for pests. That heat's starting to come through though. I wanted to show y'all one more thing before I wrap this up. I'm gonna be going in. I gotta wash up and cool off, and I've got some sweet potatoes in the oven. I'm making some sweet potato pie for our 4th of July celebration today, and then we're gonna shoot off some fireworks this evening, which will be fun. So we have too many roosters, and they're stressing the hens out. So Nathan locked this together this weekend. Check it out. It's their very own little chicken tractor. We've been wanting to do this for a while because we like to keep a couple roosters on hand. That way we can have fertilized eggs in the springtime. But other than that, I prefer to keep them away. I haven't had good luck yet at finding a good rooster that's not too rough on the hens. This way, the hens aren't getting all stressed out. This way, too, we can move them around and they can mow for me. So I think it's gonna work great. Nate's gonna put wheels on the back here so we can move it easier. But for right now, it's been working really good. The hens seem nice and quiet and happy over there. But they cleaned it out pretty quick. You can kind of see the lane here. And we haven't had any issues with the fox, so I think Marl chased him off. In fact, you need to see Marl. She's all dressed up today. So is Lily. I guess I need to put on different colors here and be a little bit more festive. Marl! Come here. She's so cute. Hi! Look at you, pretty girl, in your skirt. Come here. You sit. That's a good girl. She's been playing with Bear Bear. I'm gonna get these tomatoes inside. Probably make some salsa later today. Oh, it's a blackberry. Yum. Blackberries are coming in, and they are delicious. All right, y'all. I hope all my American friends had a lovely Independence Day. Y'all take care, and we'll see you next time. Are you ready to do fireworks?
There, Miles.
Just leave them inside. She's gonna freak out. I can already hear other people doing their fireworks. And Lily's all festive. Let me see. Very cute. I love the socks. Alrighty. Excited. Whoa. That scared the bejesus out of me.
It wasn't down in the tube all the way.
Oh my god. I thought it was a shoo-shoo.
Nope.
I'm gonna stay back here. That's awesome. Well, I'm gonna do more of those next year.